Hey guys, it's Max from Rainbow again, and today I'm joined by a special guest, ex-Rainbow employee, current board of directors member, and absolute titan of the solar industry, Nigel Morris from Catch. So Nigel, you've been involved with all of this new battery stuff. You're on a few different committees that are advising on that. Tell us all about it. What does it mean for people that don't have a battery now, or maybe have a small battery?
It's a great question. The short answer is, honestly, Max, this is the single biggest rebate that in Australia's history. It is going to be bigger than all the solar panel rebates in the past. It is an amazing, amazing opportunity to really transform not only our homes and how we use energy, but the whole energy network. It's so exciting. And of course, for anyone who has a solar system or wants to get a solar system, you can add a battery at a remarkably low price. One of the lowest prices in the world.
Yeah. But I heard that even off-grid people can get battery rebates.
True. This is the wonderful thing about this new rebate, is that industry were really involved in helping develop what the scheme was going to look like.
I mean, the New South Wales battery rebate that came in last November really did drive sales locally, but it was funded by the peak demand response scheme. And so it was only grid connected, and it was really unfair because Rainbow's got 38 years worth of customers out there with old lead acid battery systems, and they were ringing up wanting the New South Wales rebate. And I had to say, unfortunately, no. But now Rainbow can help you update your battery system thanks to Albo and thanks to the federal government battery rebate. Okay, so we've got the gist of it. On-grid, off-grid, new systems, expansions to old systems, that is all good news. But what are some of the pitfalls that people could find if they just take the first offer that comes on?
Just jump in. Well, Max, this is a real issue, and we've seen this time and time again. And in fact, I was on a social media site last night looking at companies' names who I'd never heard of before, doing a bit of research and going, this company popped up a few months ago. So we're already seeing the sharks starting to circle. So one of the key things that customers really need to understand is that batteries are complex technology. They are something that need to be treated very respectfully. They need to be designed well. They need to be installed, commissioned, and set up by people who really know what they're doing. And I'm nervous for the industry, or for solar buyers, that it's going to be so tempting to go with these big flashy ads for super cheap systems. It's, I think most consumers will get it. They need to find someone they can really trust.
Look, I know from my experience in the industry, there are cheap and nasty batteries out there. There are that might say, okay, we've got 12 kilowatt hours of storage, but only have a really minimal output. So they're not actually covering your loads at night.
Can't support the big
loads. Can't support the big loads. Only back up one circuit in an outage. Yep. Now, on the Northern Rivers, outages are pretty common. We had customers that had no power for 14 days recently with Cyclone Alfred. Wow. But because they had a good quality Rainbow designed on-grid hybrid system, they lived their life as normal.
Yep.
They powered on day and night thanks to Rainbow. And now we can offer everyone that option at a really affordable price. Anything else you want to tell me about the scheme, Nigel?
I think the other key thing about the scheme is just to watch the details. It's uncapped, which is wonderful. So, the amount of total budget available doesn't currently have a cap, but we do know that it's going to reduce over time, sure, which we also know will create a huge rush. So, one of the challenges is, even though the payments may not roll until July 1, a really critical thing is to get your name in the queue. If you're at all interested, don't delay, or else you're going to be pushed out for months and months and months and months, potentially, or not be able to get the product that you really want. So get your name in the queue.
Let me touch on that point. So it's tied to the current STC rebate that everyone in Australia gets for adding panels.
Correct.
So that means that the price will drop every January 1st. Correct? Okay, so the STC rebate is winding up in 5 years. Does that mean the battery rebate is tied to the end of the STC rebate?
Well, that's a really good question. And technically, yes. The scheme is is loose in the sense that they don't have very definite end dates and things like that yet. But you're exactly right. The STC scheme will end in 5 years. It has been deliberately designed to come down over time as the cost of technology comes down over time, which has made it one of the most beautiful, elegant,
absolutely,
and successful schemes in the world.
Agreed.
And so it's wonderful that batteries are now in the same scheme. I also know I bumped into one of the guys from the regulator's office recently, and they were really enthusiastic about this battery scheme because it uses the same mechanisms. They can use the same internal systems, they can use the same auditing systems, they can use all the same processes and methods, and the industry knows how that works. So it should make it seamless. So Max, there are a lot of battery technologies out there, a lot of brands out there. What technologies have Rainbow chosen and why?
Well, for many years, we did like the Tesla Powerwall. In 2017, that was undoubtedly the best battery on the market. But then Sungrow burst out of the blocks with their Generation 3 hybrid systems, which offer whole home backup. Now, when you had a Tesla Powerwall, you could back up your kitchen and your lights, and that was about it. In an outage, half of your house was dark. With the Sungrow SH8 and SH10s, we've got whole home backup. As I said, we had customers with no power for 14 days that lived their day life as normal. As soon as the sun hits the panels the next day, the battery's recharging, even in fully off-grid mode. Up to 50 amps of output, which can run a whole home. It's just a really, really good product. And the other really nice thing about Sungrow is they make the inverter and they make the battery. So their high voltage SBH batteries are absolutely astounding. They're really, really good quality. They're stackable, so you can add to the system, although you can only claim the rebate once. So when we design your system, we will make sure you get the right amount of modules in that stack. But it does mean that if you want to expand your system in the future, you can. And we've got hundreds of the Sungrows out in the wild. I'm able to monitor your system remotely, and I can usually fix a problem before you even know you have one. So that's another thing that Rainbow really does pride itself on, is the after-sales support and our commitment to our customers. After 38 years, we've got thousands and thousands of customers out there, and they can call us up whenever they've got a problem and know that they've got backup and support. The other one that really interests me is a new player on the scene. They've only been around for about a year and a half, and that's the SIGs. Now, the interesting thing about the SIGs is they have a bi-directional EV charger. So it's admittedly not cheap, but if you've got a compatible vehicle, you've got a whole second battery that you can drive down to a supercharger and bring it home to top up your system using the SIG Energy bi-directional EV charger. So it can power the home and charge your car purely from your solar. It's a nice unit. It's all in one. It's stackable, and it's available now as well. All right, Nigel, thanks for your time. I think you've cleared up a lot of questions that our customers out there will have. Bookings are filling up fast. If you're interested in a new battery system, give me or Gav a call. We can design the system to your needs, and we'll get that deposit in. We can lock in an install for late July because, as I said, we're getting a lot of interest. Thanks for talking to us, Nigel.
Great to see you, mate.